Hey, what's going on? It's John, and it's time for the JMART CAST for Monday, March 7th. What's going on? How are you? I messed up the opening there, my bad. That's okay. I'm just feeling a little bit tired because it's Tuesday evening that I'm recording this, so I'm recording a little bit late because we just came back from a vacation in Mexico, my wife and I and the kids. Speaking of my wife, Willa Mamacita in the house. Welcome to the show, Carly.
What? Hey, John. It's good to be here.
Thank you for joining me. I just wanted to have you on here to help me remember some of the funny things that happened during the trip. And yeah, I thought you have a pretty good memory, better than mine, and we can just riff off of some of the fun things that happened.
Yeah,
together.
Sure. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we left Monday morning. We got up super early, 5:30 start to the day. Left the house by 6:15. What time was our flight?
I think 10.
Yeah,
10 in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It was 10 in the morning. We had the car parked at one of those. Ours was, I think it was called Skyway Park or whatever.
Yeah, one of those off-site parking lots where they shuttle you to the airport.
Yeah, I dropped you and the kids off at the airport just because we had a bunch of stuff. Then I went and parked the car, got picked up, and then dropped back up at the airport. And then we got in. Our flight was on time, luckily.
Yeah.
The flight went pretty well, right?
Yeah, I seem to remember Bennett having to poop twice on the flight to Mexico, which was a bit of an adventure. And Rosie, right at takeoff, also went poop.
Oh yeah, and she ruined her
ruined her onesie.
Yeah, almost immediately.
And I wrapped her up in that diaper changing cloth that we have that kind of has a plastic coating on the underside.
Yeah.
So that it wouldn't ruin anything else on the plane. And then in that full wrap, as soon as the seatbelt sign turned off, I just brought her to the bathroom like that. And then made her naked and cleaned her up, and it was a whole thing.
Yeah. Well, I was pretty proud of Bennett, our son, for being able to use the washroom in the airplane. He used it for both number 1 and number 2.
Yeah.
And it's pretty awesome that he was able to do that. So. And
he's only been potty trained for a few weeks now, really reliably.
So good on him for figuring that out. And then the kids mostly didn't really cry or cause too much of they didn't grab too much attention from around us other than just be cute. They weren't being loud and making the passengers around us really uncomfortable. So that was good because as parents, you kind of feel uncomfortable when your kids, cause too much attention towards them, bring too much attention towards them.
Oh yeah, and you can tell that you're getting the cut eye from people when you're walking onto a flight with 2 young children, and then at the end everyone was like, "Oh, they weren't bad. They were actually good kids."
Yeah, it's always nice to hear as a parent when some strangers come by and say that you had good kids. And then after we landed, we had to get a car. We got a car rental to drive to our hotel, which was about an hour and a half away, right? The car rental process was fairly straightforward, but just a long process, took a while. And then the drive was pretty good, right? I remember on the drive, again, we had to have a little pit stop at a gas station.
So I'm going to stop you there. The whole day was just bad, right? It was a flight, it was getting up at 5:30, and then we got to the car rental agency. It turns out that I had left my wallet on the van. That took us between the airport and the car rental agency. Yeah, and I realized it pretty quickly, so I had them call the guy back who brought it back.
Yeah.
Because his entire day is just shuttling between the airport and the same car rental agency, so he was going to be back in 5 minutes anyway. But it gave us a scare for a good 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had to tackle the drive.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a long, long day.
Yeah, I think we got up at 5:30 in the morning, and then by the time we made it to the hotel, it might have been 5:30 at that time. So 12-hour day from door to door.
Yep.
Yeah, we were pretty tired by the end, and the kids kind of got cranky a little bit by the end, but that's understandable. So
Yeah.
for the most part, things went
They were
smoothly.
Fine. They were fine, yeah.
But then the next day was awesome because we got some really good sunny weather, calm seas, and we got to have a sweet day at the beach because our hotel was immediately beachside. As soon as you walk out of the hotel, you're on the beach right at the sea, and we had like some nice sand on the beaches. It was fairly clean and not too much foot traffic. We didn't have annoying people coming by to offer us to sell whatever trinkets.
Which is John's, like, the bane of your existence when you're on vacation.
Yeah.
If someone tries to sell you something on the beach, you get so angry. But not at them, just like inwardly angry. And I can just look over at you and I see the rage mounting behind your eyes with every new salesperson that comes by, which we didn't have any of that.
Yeah, it was so nice. The worst was Bali when it was like that. When we were in Bali, we would have people accost us every 5 minutes. And it was always the same thing. Taxi, massage. Taxi, massage.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we made our way to part of Mexico that is still not that commercialized. I don't think it's going to last very long.
Yeah, no, we were in a little town area called Akumal, which is in the Mayan Riviera, just an hour and a half south of the Cancun airport.
Yeah, and we weren't even in the town. We were a few kilometers from the town.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a small hotel. There were 12 rooms that face the ocean. That's it. And yeah, as soon as you open your door, you're on the beach. It was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And we had basically the whole week of really good weather.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then another good thing about the place was that there was a reef right by the hotel. You didn't have to swim out very far to get to a reef, and you got to see some nice underwater life there. Lots of fish. The first time I went snorkeling, I saw a cuttlefish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw fish. I was hoping to see other things than regular fish, but I did not get so lucky. I just saw, but they were pretty cool fish though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one fish you picked out that was like a really long, narrow fish with like little fins.
Yeah.
That thing was pretty cool.
Yeah, it kind of had an eel-like shape to it, but it was not an eel. It was like a standard fish, but just really long and just interesting. I saw big puffer fish and then a few other large fish that kind of hung out deep in the reef area, which is fun.
Mm-hmm. That long and narrow fish, I saw it as well at a different dive. And one thing that was kind of cool about it is I saw it I saw it like motionless for maybe a minute or so, but it was motionless, like not horizontal but vertical. Oh. Its head was pointing down, tail was pointing up towards the surface.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
That is cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had to snorkel one at a time because, we have 2 kids, so one parent had to be with the 2 kids at all times.
Yeah, and thank God Bennett was fairly good at entertaining himself in the sand, and Rose was also fairly good at learning to take naps just outside on a lounge chair under a palapa. Mm-hmm. I mean, that sounds amazing, but I think there was a learning process for her to be able to do that. So day 1, she didn't really do that, but the rest of the days, you just zip her up in her onesie and put her down under the lounge, like on the lounge chair, and it was great. She fell asleep for a while.
Yeah. The hotel had a bunch of toys for Bennett.
That's true.
That was good. He entertained himself. He learned how to mix water and sand to be able to make sand castles and stuff like that. And there was a little what do you call that? Not a faucet for water.
Yeah, there was a little like hose thing, except I guess it was faucet. Just the faucet for it. They didn't have the hose attachment.
Yeah, and he learned how to turn that thing on and off to get water whenever he wanted. That was a lot of fun for him.
Yeah, it was meant to wash your feet, but it became his own personal plaything. But actually, it's such a small hotel that all the other guests were listening to us parent our kids, and without us actually going to introduce ourselves to them, they all knew who Bennett and Rose were.
Mm-hmm.
And one by one would come up to us and talk to us about our kids in some fashion. Like one woman said, "Oh, we've got a Rose too," and all this stuff. So it's just, I guess, parenting your kids is kind of a loud process at times when the hotel is so quiet, relatively.
Yeah, it was a quiet hotel, which is nice.
But they watched Bennett, and I think a lot of them were quite entertained by Bennett's just playing with various things. Yeah,
running around. He did a lot of running around, and then people loved coming by to check out Rose when she was napping, because she's like the cutest baby ever. So everybody just comes and looks at her and is like, "Oh my God, what an angel!"
Yeah. They come by when she's sleeping to do that.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And then we rented a car, of course, so we used the car on the evenings to drive around for dinners. We had breakfast and lunch covered in our hotel, because our hotel room came with a kitchen. So we bought a bunch of groceries to do breakfast and lunches, like I already said. And then,
fish tacos and shrimp tacos every day.
Yeah, it was awesome for lunch. Basically, we did fish tacos and shrimp tacos with corn tortillas.
And we bought the Mexican green sauce and the Mexican red sauce. Mm-hmm. Except our green sauce was way better.
Yeah, there's a clear winner. Like, we barely touched the red sauce, and the green sauce was emptied by the end of the week.
Yeah. I should say salsa. But...
Yeah, salsa. Salsa verde. Mm-hmm. Salsa rojo.
Yeah. It was nice because it was a pretty quiet hotel. Like, I think the people who were attracted to that place were there just to chill out, which suited our family just fine.
Yeah. Carly's mad at me because I'm pointing at the camera.
He keeps obsessively pointing at the microphone. Like, I have to put this thing in my mouth to actually make it pick up the stupid sound. It's not my choice to do this podcast, but here I am at John's behest.
The best wife ever. She's always, I don't know, going along with my crazy ideas. And always looking out for me, trying to look out for my best, even when I don't necessarily listen to her. So I got pretty badly sunburnt, and she kept telling me that I was getting sunburnt, and I was like, "No, don't worry, it's fine."
I eventually sat him down and I said, "John, can we talk about what threshold we might have to put on a shirt or some sunscreen?" And he didn't really want to answer that question. So I said, "How much sun do you actually want to get?" And he goes, "As much as possible." And I go, "'Cause you're pretty red right now." And you go, "I know. I'm fine." And I go, "I really don't think that you are." And then he walked away and continued to have his day like a normal day. And then afterwards, you're like, "Yeah, I did too much." And I mean, there's evidence of it now because your back is like this peeled mess.
Yeah, I look like a python shedding its outer layer.
And I kept touching your shoulders, because that's what wives do for the second half of the vacation. And I kept forgetting that your shoulders were somewhat painful.
Yeah, I was a little bit sensitive, but we're good now.
Yeah, we're good. Well, we're almost good. Your back is...
It's kind of nasty improving. How much dead skin is falling off. I was at jiu-jitsu today, and I was leaving dead skin all over the mat. Nobody said anything, luckily.
I kind of wanted to say something. I was like, I don't know if you should go like that, but it's fine. It's gross, but...
Yeah. They do a good job cleaning there between every round.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hey man, we pay a good fee for the monthly membership for that, so it's all good.
Sure. All right. Oh man.
Any funny stories you remember from the trip?
Well, I do remember that one greaseball man.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the greaseball man. Okay, first we got introduced to him by him kind of being a loudmouth and talking about how he lost his phone, except he was claiming that it was definitely stolen and he didn't just lose it because...
Well, yeah, like I don't think you really paid attention, but like I was sitting in a lounge chair and there wasn't much going on, and I just heard this guy who's like kind of chubby, like got tattoos.
Oh, definitely chubby.
Yeah.
Like
and,
probably like 40 pounds overweight, I would say at
he
least.
was just like talking to anybody who would listen about how his phone was stolen. He's kind of looking around like, have you seen my phone? My phone was stolen. And then he was talking to someone who I think he had been with the night before, and they're like, are you sure you didn't just lose it? And the story comes out that he'd been out drinking until about 3 a.m., which at our hotel seemed like, what?
Yeah, who's staying up till 3 a.m. at our hotel?
It was really a sleepy place.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one snack bar that stays open till 9 p.m. So what are you doing between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m.? And like it's a family place. Like
Is the cash bar nearby stayed open later?
9 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
9 p.m. That's it. So it's like, okay, well, I mean, how are you managing that? But also, you know, if you're staying up till 3 a.m. drinking, like, I'm pretty sure you lost your phone, bud.
Yeah.
So like everybody on the beach, I could see them kind of looking at him and being like, okay, whatever. And so then, you know, Loudmouth is talking about, well, I'm going to have to go into Playa del Carmen on my scooter, get a new phone. And it's like, okay. And then he disappears for like half a day, and then he comes back and he does have a new phone.
Yeah, and you got an iPhone too, if I saw correctly.
Yeah, I guess so. And then, you know, and then I go to the bar, like I had it down where as soon as Rose would fall asleep, I was like, okay, it's time for me to have a drink. So then I would go. And this time I went and got a Paloma from the bar, and he sits down beside me, he shakes my hand, he's like chatting me up, I suppose. But he knows I have a family, so I don't think he's like trying anything. He was asking about my little girl and everything. But I just sequentially saw him speak to pretty much every single woman alone at that hotel. And I was like, you're just kind of greasy, man. Like, I don't know. Like, you're just kind of weird. And
the greaseball man revealed himself.
He did. And then later that afternoon, we saw this weird Russian woman who seemed to be with him, but I was trying to figure out their deal. And, I mean, I got nothing against Russian people. I mean, all current affairs aside, but
We don't like the Russian government. We don't mind the Russian people.
Yeah. But, I mean, let's be real. Their fashion sense.
Russian people's fashion sense is something else.
You can always pick a Russian person out from a crowd based on their fashion sense.
Absolutely.
So, like, I'm going to describe this woman for you. Like, so it's like this middle-aged woman.
Resting bitch face.
Yep. Fake blonde hair. Fake boobs.
Fake big boobs, yeah.
Yep. And then she was wearing this bikini that... it was a bandeau strapless bikini top that looked like caution tape.
It was yellow like the caution.
And actually had the word caution written across the boobs like caution tape. Yeah. And
she had 2 kids.
And she had 2 kids with her. And then I thought, okay, well, maybe they're together. But then he was talking about showing her his room, and then like getting something for her kids to eat, and then just like listening, and it turns out she was not staying at our hotel, but he had called her to just come be his guest there. And then they're like kind of cuddling in the lounge chairs, and then a couple hours later she just like disappeared, and I never saw her again. So I guess she decided that she was done with him.
Yeah. But the greaseball man had like a lot of success with other ladies.
Well, the next morning he was like chilling with another woman.
Yeah, another like young woman who was a cutie, a lot cuter than the first one.
Yes, true. But I also never saw her again, which was interesting. It's like, I don't know, like we're in the sleepiest hotel that is not in town. There's nothing else around us. I don't know where he's getting all these women from, especially if they're not staying in our hotel. Like, I really don't know.
Well, I mean, Bahia Principe was right next door, the big giant
true. I guess like
resort.
He was just probably taking a walk down the beach to different hotels. But it's like It's not like we were in town. Like
The greaseball man had good game.
There's not that much around you to like draw from. But I guess he was just throwing stuff out there to see what
not
sticks,
so much, I guess, good game, but quantity of game, where he was just
he was talking to the waitress at the bar. He was talking to me.
He even tried you,
I don't know if he really tried me, but at the same time, like...
Yeah, he's just friendly with everybody, and somebody's going to stick with that level of friendliness.
I guess. So, it's like greaseball man.
That was a funny part of the trip.
Yeah, it was funny to kind of just watch his antics. And yeah, he stuck around for a few days.
Yeah, he was there for the second half of our trip. Then another funny part of the trip was how we tried so hard to have like really nice dinners, but there's always like something didn't work out.
Yeah. The one dinner where like I thought we actually probably did the best food-wise was... There was this restaurant that had Mayan cooking.
Mayan cuisine, yeah.
Mayan cuisine. And I did not know this, but I thought mole sauce was mole sauce. And it turns out there's 7 different types of mole sauce. And this restaurant had like 4 of them on their menu. And they were really good. And it was this...
We tried one.
Yeah, we did. But it was this beautiful open-air restaurant. It was actually in somebody's home just outside of Tulum town. And... we arrived... Yeah,
it was about a half hour, 20-minute drive away from our hotel.
Yeah. And like we arrive, in the evening, sun's going down, it's beautiful, our food arrives, and then it starts to get dark right around that time, and the mosquitoes come out.
Yeah, and we were like, this is the part of town away from the ocean, so like... that made it, I think, worse with like there being more mosquitoes.
Well, yeah, like where we were staying, mosquitoes weren't an issue, and then we drove to this restaurant, and I guess we just didn't realize, but we were dressing the same way that we did for every other day at the beach, and we were getting eaten alive to the point where we're like, we have to leave this place.
Yeah, but the food was amazing.
It was fantastic. And it was too bad that we didn't get to stay for longer because, like, even if it was just you and I, maybe I would have braved it. But then we were kind of looking around, like Bennett was falling asleep and Rose was kind of asleep and they were both not in long sleeves. And I was like, I think they're going to die.
Yeah,
which means that we'll never sleep again.
Yeah. We needed to protect them.
Yeah, so we ate very quickly and we got out of there and we did not get dessert, but it was really good food.
Yeah, we got chicken with chocolate mole sauce, and like normally I'm not a big fan.
It's called the black mole sauce. That's what that one was. So it's more the classic mole sauce.
Yes, the classic mole sauce with cacao, which is used to make chocolate, which has a bitter flavor. So you get like a bitter taste, not a sweet taste like you would with chocolate. But normally I'm not a fan of that, although I like trying it because it's like a very authentic dish, and I kind of like that. But this time around trying it, I enjoyed it quite thoroughly, a lot more than normally. So these guys were, it was like a real home-cooked meal style dinner, which was enjoyable. And then the funny thing was, as we're leaving the restaurant, I had to go to the bathroom, and on my way out, there was like another table sitting next to us, and the people there, they had like a spray that they were using to like spray on themselves, and I figured that must have been bug spray, and I was like, why didn't we use the bug spray? And we just didn't know about it. Nobody offered it to us, and then we left, not realizing that we could have potentially been using a bug spray and stayed a little longer and actually enjoyed the dinner more. Yeah,
and then a lot of other times at the restaurant, you were just so exhausted by the end of the day that you were falling asleep at the table.
Yeah, it's funny because the kids were falling asleep as we were driving to the restaurant, and then I was falling asleep once we were already there.
Which probably had something to do with like your sunburn, and also, I guess, just like how on you have to be throughout the day for the kids, and maybe the beer had something to do with it too.
Oh yeah, we had a lot of nice Coronas with like the lime juice squeezed into it.
Oh yeah,
that was awesome. I don't think I'm ever gonna have a Corona without a lime juice, unless like somebody gives it to me, I guess, without one. But like if I get it myself, I'm always gonna get it with lime.
Yeah, it would be disappointing without the lime.
Yeah, it's so much better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the funny thing about the dinners is like both kids would fall asleep on the way to the restaurants. So we had a stroller for Bennett, and then we would have the carrier for Rose, but we'd also have the car seat. We had 2 car seats. That was crazy, having 2 car seats for the rental car, but it worked out actually pretty good.
Well, yeah, we got better at doing the dinners as the vacation went on, because the first couple days we were going to these restaurants and Bennett was falling asleep within about 30 seconds of being in the car. Mm-hmm. And we were thinking, oh, like Bennett hasn't had dinner yet. So if this is it for him, like he's going to be hungry and probably wake up early, and it's not nice for him to go to sleep on an empty stomach. So we were trying to wake him up to have some dinner with us, which if you try and wake a sleeping toddler for the purpose of eating, it doesn't always go that well. And so there were tears and shouting, and so we just got smarter by the end, where we just went maybe half an hour later and fed Bennett something, in the around 4 or 5 p.m. when he was used to having dinner anyways. And then when he fell asleep in the car at the restaurant, we're like heading to the restaurant, we did not wake him up again. Yeah. And he slept through all the rest of the dinners just perfectly. And
all the way through the night too.
Yeah. Yeah. So we would just drive him in the car, and then I would, because I'm better at transfers, I would gingerly pick him up and put him in his stroller reclined, and we'd wheel him to the table. He would sleep the entire time, and I would transfer him back in the car and then into the hotel room, and he would just wake up for like 10 seconds, especially when you're putting him into the bed, and we'd say, put your head on the pillow, Benny, and he would just do it, and then he'd be out. It was crazy. The kid was tired.
Yeah. Yeah, we played around throughout the day under like the hot sun, so understandable for him to be so tired that he'd zonk out basically.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a good time though, I think. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it was a great time. Great vacation.
Yeah. Yeah. Another long travel day coming back, and then we rewarded ourselves with some sushi when we got home.
Yes, it was ordered as soon as we landed. Yeah. And then we picked it up on the way home because we were not going to be cooking. No. I mean, we didn't have any food in the house anyway.
Yeah, we emptied the fridge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, but now I'm exhausted because we've come home, and it was this morning, get Bennett ready for daycare, then you dropped Bennett off at daycare, you got groceries while I unpacked everything, and then did 3 loads of laundry, and then anyway, we got our house in order today.
Yeah, lots of chores. Yeah. Catching up.
I'm out of vacation mode now, and now I am sleepy.
But it's so nice to come back to like 0-degree weather compared to like when we left, like it was hovering around -10. We feel like we just like skipped the last little bit of winter and graduated to like springtime. Although I'm sure we'll still get more cold crossed days, but like it's been nice to come back to such a, I don't know, spring-like weather.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day to go out walking today. And so we did a little bit as well. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna take off.
The lovely Williamcita. Thank you for joining me on the JMART cast. Appreciate your input on reviewing what we did for the vacation.
No problem. Okay, good night, folks.
Bye-bye. What did I want to... I guess I'll finish off today by doing a quick little Bitcoin update. Let's see. What block height are we at? Everyone? Bitcoin's block height is 726,500 flat. That's the block height. What's the price at? 39,240. We're looking at a 2.3% increase in the day. In the week, we're down 10%. In the month, we're down 7%. Since 1 year ago, we're down 28%. However, from 5 years ago, we're up 3,000%. So, as always, Bitcoin's a long game. It's not a get quick rich scheme. It's a get rich slow scheme. What did I want to say about it? I guess the only thing I'll say is recently
there's a follower effect. I've talked about El Salvador being the first place that made Bitcoin legal tender. Well, there's now the first follower, Lugano, Switzerland. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Lugano, Switzerland is now the second place in the world to officially, by the letter of the law, to have made Bitcoin legal tender. So I don't think it's the whole country of Switzerland, but just the place, Lugano. I don't know if it's a city or a province. Let me search that real quick. Lugano, Switzerland is the largest town in the holiday region of Ticino. It's not only Switzerland's third most important financial center and a conference and banking business center, but also a town of parks and flowers, villas, and sacred buildings. Cool. Yeah, so this place has just recently announced making Bitcoin legal tender, so that makes it a trend now, right? Two makes a trend. The first follower, and that's what it takes, right? We need more and more places to go and take the step like this, and eventually every place will have to, just due to like the game theoretic aspect of it. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it for this week. Thanks for joining me, friends and family, on another episode of JMART CAST. If you have any questions about anything related to health or just like whatever I've talked about on the podcast, reach out to me on social media at JMART CAST on Instagram and Twitter, or you can send me an email to newsletter@jmartfit.com. Look forward to hearing anything you've got to contribute. Love you all. Have a good week. Stay active. Be grateful. J-Mart out.